And now it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Royal Polaris, the world's finest long-range sports fisher. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Rock Cod Rick Maxa. We're in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup here right next to Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. And we have a great guy for us guest. Captain Tim Ekstrom from the Royal Star is here. We're going to be having a great show, talking some serious fishing underway right now. So you stay tuned. This is Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio. Inside information is everything when it comes to catching fish in Southern California. You need a code group to connect with what's happening on the water. FishDope.com is your code group. Inside information available at your fingertips 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane, along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. They become your code group. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Quintin, 365 days a year. FishDope.com has online planning tools, temperature and chlorophyll charts, hot bite icons, and more. Take it from me, if you don't have FishDope.com, you're not part of the in-the-know crowd. Membership is affordable and good for an entire year. Plus, use the special code and save $30 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel. In San Diego, the future belongs to everyone. So Ford engineered the truck of the future for everyone. The Ford F-150. Available with a Pro Power onboard generator. What a great addition for anglers. There's also a variety of cab configurations for whatever you need to haul. The truck of the future isn't created for just a few. It's created for us who love the ocean and the outdoor life. Ford F-150. Test drive one at your local San Diego County Ford dealer today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup, man. Always one of my most favorite days, talking fishing with a guy that just been involved with it his whole life and loves talking about it, and a great friend and partner of the show. Today's going to be a great day.
Yeah, for sure. Captain Tim Ekstrom, good morning.
Thrilled to be here, as always.
Great to have you. And, just a fantastic time to go on because stuff is starting to happen. Yeah.
We're at the beginning. We're at the beginning only because there's boats out there now. I mean, this fish has been here all winter. It hasn't gone anywhere. You know, the guys that the commercial fleet that they finished up, they caught what they wanted to catch. They were selective, targeting bigger fish, so it took them longer this year. But it wasn't because there wasn't fish. I mean, there's been fish. The spread of fish up and down the coast has just been remarkable. I mean, the guys were seeing fish all the way from way down there below Cedars Island all the way up to the border. Meanwhile, there were still fish being caught by the gill netters outside of the Channel Islands. I mean, there's been fish everywhere, and it's just
when you say fish, it's bluefin.
Bluefin, yeah. I should specify that. All mixed up in sizes. Lots of smaller fish this year. Smaller meaning 20 to 60 pounders, 40, 50, 60 pounders. Lots and lots of that fish, and then there's plenty of bigger fish also. The 80s and up, but just the spread of fish that's scattered out over such a vast area, it bodes so well for what is to come. I mean, that's what we typically like to see. That when you see a little bit everywhere, that means that there is just a vast quantity.
Gotta love that. I mean, water conditions are amazing.
They're great. They're beautiful. I mean, I think that the only thing that's going to, aside from some crazy climatic disaster we can't forecast, I just can't imagine anything disrupting what looks to be, a really, really strong showing on this bluefin. Same thing, spring, summer, fall.
Right. Yeah.
And then the add-ons, what we saw coming up the line on our long trips, all the way through, a couple weeks ago, this yellowfin that was so prevalent last year, especially later in the year, that beautiful gray.
Yeah, it was nice size.
Great. It's still around.
Oh, God, I love
lots of it.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
And bodes really well for 7-8 day trips in the spring.
I think that and certainly when the summer trips, and as we push into the standard time from what I see, we push into late July, August, September, get ready for the add-ons again. What we love to see.
And the grade was so nice. I mean, I know you touched on it, but this was not football 5-pound yellowfins. I mean, it was real deal. Great size fish.
I personally, for especially for local fishing, but even long range, on our shorter trips being the 3 and the 4 days and the like. 25 to 40 pound yellowfin
all day long.
Bread and butter.
Love that stuff.
Biting the popper,
biting
rip line. So cool.
They bite. Typically, they bite when you find them. Early season. Maybe not so much. God, they can drive you crazy. We always think of yellowfin. You think, they bite nails. Not necessarily. It'll drive you crazy, just like bluefin will at times. Early season. Anyway, that grade is just like it's the perfect size fish because
it is.
You can angle for them. You can drop down to your 25 pound if they're not biting, boiling around. You fish your 30 or 40 pound. They give you a hell of a good fight, but they don't destroy you.
Yeah, totally.
And as far as like the end product goes, there are no better like the perfect loin size
for real.
That like 30 to 60 pound, 25 to 60 pound fish, just perfect medallion steak.
They get me all fired up.
If you're a home canner, jar,
totally.
Again, yes, one loin fits perfectly in the jar. Like everything about that size fish is just ideal.
Yeah, well, I was walking down the docks yesterday and I saw Lori from the American Angler, and she said, "Hey, I caught a 30-pound yellowtail at the Coronados on Monday.
Nice.
On the Mission Bell." So that stuff's starting to be in play, right?
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, it's time of year now.
Yeah, you got Liberty and Mission Bell and all those guys are going to start catching local yellowtail. Let's hope it's a good season compared to last year. I mean, there's been some more yellows, it seems like.
Yeah,
right?
It seems like.
And nice grade. Holy mackerel, 30 pounder.
Good job, Lori. That's cool.
On a yo-yo.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
This is the time of year for the yo-yo, spring.
Yeah.
And fish being seen offshore on kelps, and the guys flying around are seeing sign of yellowtail, and the guys down below too fishing out Ensenada. So
that's so cool.
It's like the setup is just perfect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's gonna be good fishing. It's just a matter of when you want to go.
Yeah, everybody's finishing up their maintenance right now. Like you put a fleet exactly. You put a fleet of boys together right now. It's going down.
Well, what's amazing is we look at the calendar. It's the 16th of
middle of March.
Of March. It's middle of March only. It's like it hasn't even. We're just getting rolling.
I know. It's funny how that is because now. I guess a few years ago you'd be like, we got time.
Yeah,
exactly. Now it's like we're just
we got to get rolling here.
Let's go, man, because it's here.
Yeah, a few years ago, March was just like you said. We got a couple of months that you could get your boat work started now and still conceivably have plenty of time. We're probably not going to start running until June, maybe mid-June, maybe a little later. It's going on, right?
It's going.
I mean, last night's a perfect example. There were 2 day-and-a-half trips that left from Fisherman's Landing. The demand from bluefin is so high that there was a bluefin-only offshore trip. Obviously there's been several catches made from the guys that are going to Collinet, and then if they get their rockfish fill, they poke out offshore or before they get to the grounds, and there's been several bluefin caught that way, but now there's been enough fish around and seen and caught. There were 2 trips that left last night. One that went to Collinet, another, the Pacific Dawn, is just going bluefin fishing.
Just going bluefin fishing.
Well, this is straight off the wire from Ali, who's out there on the Supreme, and he said good schools all night long. 7 fish, they weren't biting all that great, but he's stopping on fish the whole night, and he had a dozen yesterday afternoon.
There you go.
And it's not that far away.
No, it's not.
Oh, so it was biting during the day.
Yeah, they got a dozen yesterday.
Okay.
So
I like hearing that. What's the grade?
It's 80 to 120s.
Oh,
what a shame. What a shame that is.
Yeah. Wow.
So cool.
I mean, this is the time of year. It's just getting ramped up. But, man,
Opportunity, fired up, dude.
Opportunity knocks, you know. And I know we talked about it before. I think there's a lot of anglers right now that they're waiting to see how this develops. You know, we're getting into this routine now where, okay, this is the new normal. You know, there's bluefin available, and you want to pick your shot, and they're going to wait and see how it's all developing. There's plenty of room on a couple of trips that we threw in at the end of April, early March. There's a couple 3 days, a 4-day that has, 10, 12 spots, 8 spots. So there's plenty of availability. Now it's select, there's just a couple of trips. Everything after that is looking pretty good aside from a spot here or there, but that's a great opportunity. And I'm telling you, like I guess the number one factor determining success, especially offshore that time of year, of course, is weather. It really is. If you get the good weather, you're going to get a shot. I mean, that's
like this weekend, right? That's why the boats went.
Yeah, nice, and that's what I feel about it right now. It's like if you go out there, you have good weather, you're gonna get a shot. Yeah, and especially you get later in where we're into that time of year where you've got 8, 10, 15, 20 boats out there. Yeah. All the much better, you know what I mean? Because
more coverage.
We're staying on them. Yeah. Like you get in that situation, you're gonna get your shot. It's just a matter of whether old man weather decides to cooperate.
Gives you a piece.
Yeah. Well, perusing the Royal Star Sport Fishing website this morning, royalstarsportfishing.com, I was checking out the schedule, and you guys have a bunch of availability on 3 and 4 day trips in April and May.
Right. There's just a couple of them. Like I said, at the end of April, there's 2 3 days, and that 1 4 day, it's like May 5th through the 9th or something. Anyway, that's where we've got a couple gaps there that, opportunities knocking.
Yeah.
It's not...
Sign me up.
Yeah, we have very limited availability. It's not the norm to have those opportunities.
Yeah.
Like one of them, we broke up a 7-day trip. It just didn't gain traction, which, next year, I was mentioning it to you, Pete, before the show started, we're going to throw an 8-day trip on, and we're going to make it a hardcore go. That is such a fantastic time of year to go on a 7-day trip, go on an 8-day trip, because you have the benefit of all this bluefin here offshore. Right. If you decide to hit it on the front end or the back end, and then, the door is open for everything down below. And for eons, that we used to just kick the daylights out of that beautiful great yellowfin, that 30 to 70 pound yellowfin of Leos rocks in April and May. That was just the go-to. Yeah. It was bread and butter.
That's what you
fish.
did.
And it's available there right now. Again, going up and down on these long trips, you guys can't believe
really
what you're seeing. Yeah,
that's such good news, man. That makes me so pumped.
So I mean, that's yellowfin you're talking
about. That's right.
The volume of yellowfin.
And the yellowtail, of course. I mean, yellowtail fishing in the spring of Leos Rocks is legendary. That's when you get those big bastards, those 60 to 80 pounders.
It's kind of back to old days, right?
It seems like
it should be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except now at mixing bluefin locally here.
Yeah, except you could also catch a 100-pounder, on a day and a half trip.
Exactly. So I feel like there was a long period there where recruitment was really down. The lower water temps in the Eastern Pacific. Just the tuna, the yellowfin tuna in particular. Their recruitment goes down when in the I hate to say La Nina years, but everybody can relate to that. So let's call it the La Nina years. Recruitment is down, but once the water, they switch into the either more normal or into an El Nino cycle, then recruitment goes way up. Those little dudes, wherever they're at, if the water temperature is right, they're getting down to business. So, there's just a lot more of it around. You can see, these cycles go up and down.
Sure.
And it feels to me, and from what I've seen, that we're on one of those cycles that we're on the upswing now. And usually those cycles carry through, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. So I think a lot of the explanation for this yellowfin that we're seeing and the quantity of it, is just there's been great recruitment years. And this year, with all this elevated water temp, it suggests that we're going to see this again for a few more years to come.
Yeah,
that's great.
Gotta love it.
You've got to see the ebb and flow more than a couple of times in your career.
I know. I'm somewhat of the old timer now, right? Going on 56 here, and I started working on Royal Players when I was 19.
That's rad.
So, I mean, what is that?
Wow.
That's a long time. 37 some odd years into the long range. Seen a few of the I think
some
that's
ups
the perfect
and
way,
some downs.
That was the perfect way to say that. The ebb and flow.
That was quite the crew too. When you started, who was on the crew with you?
It was it was Brian Kiyohara, Rollo Hine, of course myself, and then we had some guys that were we like the core hardcore. I remember Ross Baker, he was great. Russ Braswell, he was incredible. Dave Aikita,
Wow.
he was another one. Rich Rogers back in the day.
Yeah. God,
Yeah.
That's cool.
What a crew.
That was a hardcore crew, man. We were really, really good at getting it done. And, and then it really, it shifted into. As soon as I started running the boat, or a couple of years after I started running the boat, really started getting into the innovation side of it. Things really developed as we went from more of a just go down and we might have had to hit the buzzer on that one. We used to go down and just clobber the daylights out of everything, we just go down and clobber the day, where we shifted it more to focus on the quality. It became all about those big ones, and got it. I mean, you were here. You remember how rapidly that gear evolved from 2-speed reels to Spectra line to kites to chunks to all that stuff.
Backup reels and skiffs and
exactly, all of that.
And then guys just like you said, like so many people tailoring their tackle around catching big ones.
Yeah.
It became less about that was kind of the beginning of became a little bit less about how big your pile was, and a little bit more about selectively getting the biggest and the best that was available to be had.
And it was fully intentional.
That's cool.
It was.
Yeah.
That was the objective all along, was to make this, to shift the mindset to, hey, let's get big ones. Let's get what we want. Let's get what we need, and then let's save the rest for the next generation or the next trip, whatever it may be.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Alex, I guess we'd call him your fourth captain, or fourth owner captain.
Correct.
Yeah, was supposed to make it today, but he had a little technical difficulty, so it doesn't look like he's going to make it. Yeah,
I don't think so. I haven't heard back from him yet, but I think he's out. Out for the count here this time.
Tell us about how Alex has added to that group.
You know what Alex has brought that I am so again, all of this was by design, and he is he's a perfect example of how that younger mindset, he's just at the forefront of innovating in tackle, in techniques, technology. He's the man. That's what when you're 33, 34 years old, you got a much better handle on it than, the old goat at 56 over here.
And where did you find him?
Well, Alex was, he ran, I guess he was he was on the first string for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And then he shifted over to Apollo. He ran the Apollo. I mean, that was his operation for a number of years.
Yeah. After JJ.
Really, really talented guy. He has got leadership attributes that are very rare. I always say Alex is like he's a 5'7" man trapped in an 8 footer body. He's just an incredible guy. He's personable. He has the whole, He's a driver.
Yeah.
He's like everything. I could go on and on with all the accolades, and he's earned every one. And I had never, when we offered the opportunity on Royal Star to Alex, I'd never spent a day on the boat with him. I'd never fished with him. But
no kidding.
Yeah. But I'd been watching for a long, long time, and got references from people I really respect about his ability, and he's lived up to every bit of it and more. And he's just an incredible guy. He really is.
Yeah. And then of course you have Brian Sims, who's still part of the team.
Yeah, he's another old goat like guy.
Yeah, Randy Toussaint. Is he? Oh, you guys are making me feel old, calling yourselves old goats, right?
Well, compared to these kids running the boat now, You
mean the 24-hour a day fishing schedule, and like you said too about Alex, I love that you said he's such a tackle guy. Like, it's funny watching him walk from the ticket office side of the landing through the tackle store to maybe pick up a pack. Like, every lure, everything, and if there's something new in there, he's eyeballed it, grabbed it, looked at it, this, that, and the other, put it. The guy is just intense when it comes to anything like that.
Yeah.
New jigging style, whatever it might be. He can't walk by something in the shop without grabbing it, manipulating. Man, what's this? Where did this come in? Where did this come from? Who's this?
Know.
Dude, he is the man.
Yeah, he really is. We all have our. His strengths covered cover the full spectrum, of course, but he's really, really good at the whole tackle side of it. You know, we all have our interests in this and that, and that he is the consummate expert in that field. Cool. You ask me, hey, you know, what's the hot jig? You know, I'm like, I don't know, you know, that green one there was using, you know what I mean? Where he's got, you know, the brand, the make, the this, you know, and he was ahead of it, and
he already knew.
Yeah, stays ahead of it. He's been really instrumental in you know, we have a bunch of that jigging gear on the boat now.
Right.
Boy, do those guys put it to use.
That's
you know?
Cool.
Yeah.
And we've talked about that before, but boy, you have the right gear and somebody who knows how to use it, especially that bluefin at night. I mean, you've got an edge that is, it's just undeniable.
Yeah,
cool.
For sure. Well, as you can hear, we have a great show lined up for today. A lot to talk about, tons of phone calls, and lots of texts coming in, but here's your chance.
Yeah, going to be a busy morning. Always is with Captain Tim. So much great stuff to cover the whole year of fishing. We're going to get to talk about it today and talk about it with somebody that really knows the ins and outs of it. Going to be a lot of fun. And if you want to join us, we want to hear from you. Give us a call this morning at 213-432-1090. Again, 213-432-1090 is how you reach us on the phones, or send us a text. Lots of great texts already coming through. It's clearly going to be a very busy morning for that as well. If you want to send us a text, the only way to do it is through our app, the Let's Talk Hookup app. It's a free app, easy to find, so great to listen to all the past archive shows, and again, it's your only way to text into Let's Talk Hookup. Make sure that you include your contact info, so that, you know, we can get your, if you win the big prize, we can get it back to you. Just a name and a phone number is all we need. And what a prize we are giving away today.
Yeah, double prize.
How about this? One lucky caller or texter is going to be winning a full day trip on board the Liberty at a Fisherman's Landing, who they're out fishing right now on a day-and-a-half trip. Taro and the boys had a great load last night. They're out fishing today. In addition to your full-day trip on board the Liberty, you're also going to get the brand-new Gamakatsu Alpha prize pack, and we will just tell you a little bit more about that later in the show. But
actually, Ted's going to be introducing that here in just a few minutes from Gamakatsu. He's going to tell you what's in that prize pack. It's something pretty special.
It's new and it's cool. Yeah, I can tell you that much for sure. Yeah,
and it's going to be introduced for the first time right here on Let's Talk Hookup.
That's it. Well, as you can hear, a great show coming your way. More of your phone calls, 213-432-1090. We're also going to check in with Captain Frank Lepresti. We got more phone calls. Lots of great stuff coming up. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Countdown to spring with exhilarating deals on new Yamaha outboards during Yamaha's Power and Performance Sales Event from now until March 31st, 2024. Purchase a new eligible Yamaha 450 to 30 horsepower outboard and get up to 7 years of warranty protection and a Siren 3 Pro package to your purchase of a 115 horsepower and up, and receive a bonus $1,000 in dealer credit and half off your Siren subscription. Looking for lower horsepower? Yamaha's got you covered. Purchase a new Yamaha 25 to 2.5 horsepower outboard and receive up to $2,000 in dealer credit. Reliability starts here. Offer ends March 31st, 2024. Subject to change. Other restrictions and conditions apply. Select models excluded. 24-month Yamaha extended service added. A 36 or 60-month factory limited warranty. Choice offered to Florida residents is a 24-month Yamaha limited warranty. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealers for details. Cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.
Long-range fishing, nothing beats Shimano. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. Come check out the Shimano Talica, the pinnacle of lever drag 2-speed reels. The Talica features Shimano's Hagani body when throwing jigs. The Shimano Trinidad is your top choice. With the extreme cranking power and Shimano's Super Free Spool provides extreme castability. You'll be able to put your jig in the Wahoo zone. For all your Shimano needs, visit us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet. Fisherman's Landing offers half-day trips on the Dolphin and full-day trips on the Liberty. Many trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
Hey everyone, James Holst here with Norsk Lithium, the official battery partner of Let's Talk Hookup. Here at Norsk Lithium, we have two goals that drive who we are and what we do. The first is to make the highest quality, longest lasting lithium batteries available with a complete lineup of batteries that include 12, 24, 36 volt and starting batteries. Second, in addition to offering a 10-year warranty on all Norsk Lithium marine batteries, we provide amazing customer service before and after the sale. Check us out online at norsklithium.com. That's NORSK lithium.com, or call us at 831-232-9063. Or to see Norsk Lithium batteries in person, stop by the Trolling Motor Doctor in Lakewood or Anglers Marine in Anaheim and see why Norsk Lithium batteries should be in your boat.
No matter where the adventure takes you, we've got you powered. Norsk Lithium.
Hey, this is Rosie with Cedros Sport Fishing. We have always been the leader with all-inclusive fishing trips to Cedros Island. We now have 2 lodges to choose from and both sit on the cliff's edge with relaxing ocean views and gorgeous morning sunrises. With direct flights departing to the CBX in San Diego, we are committed to providing first-class service to our guests and an unforgettable fishing experience. Come check out the yellowtail and calico bass capital in the world. Nobody does it better than Cedros Sport Fishing. Call me at 619-772-7570 or check us out at cedrosportfishing.com. Book soon. Trips are going fast.
I can't wait to spend some quality time with my son fishing this year, teaching him about casting, how to choose bait, set the hook, and how to be safe on the water by always wearing a life jacket. Save the ones you love. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Man, phones are absolutely packed solid. Again, if you want to get your chance to get through, it's 213-432-1090, or keep those texts rolling through on that Let's Talk Hookup app.
Yeah, for sure. Captain Frank Lopresti is here. Good morning, Frank.
Oh, good morning, Pete. Just a couple in. Good morning, Rick. Just a few quick reports. We'll have a better report for you tomorrow morning on the RP. They just arrived at Hurricane Bank, so they're getting their day started. You may have already got the bluefin dope. Aliar, Mike Loust, and Mike Pritchard all have bluefin aboard, 80 to 130 pounds, approximately 90, 95 miles from San Diego. And let's see, what else?
How about El Salto?
Yeah, that's the report I'm looking for.
El Salto. God, I can't wait to get back there again. We just got back yesterday. It was a very nice bite on a lot of 4.5 to 6 pound fish. Suckers. You know, I just can't. Even Andy Morita, who fishes bass everywhere, says he cannot believe how hard they pull at El Salto. And I had a 6 pound bass absolutely jerked me around the bow of the skiff. I couldn't believe it. And my biggest was 7.2. The second place was 8.95, and I believe 8.78. Both by crew members off of the Liberty. Over.
That's awesome.
Third place with an 8.3, I believe it was. But anyhow, it was awfully nice fishing. It wasn't wide open. It was anywhere, I'd call it 60 fish per boat steady. A couple boats had 100 fish per day for a couple of days. So
that's
it was
good fishing for El Salto.
Yeah, it was good fishing, and especially the quality. There was very little of that 1.5, 2 pound bass. Very little of that. So it was a lot of fun. And oh, by the way, we had a cancellation. We have one opening on the April 10th trip, one opening on the May 10th trip. If anybody's interested, they can either call Rick at Fisherman's Landing or call me, whatever. Okay.
Which one are you going on, Rick?
We're going April 10 through 15.
Oh, so that's a spot open on the trip that you're on.
Yeah, and I think as it lays out, they'd probably get to go fishing with Carl Schmidt from Fisherman's Landing. Who's also going on the trip. It's just it's going to be a great time. Lots of fun, lots of buzz, lots of laughs, lots of story, and hopefully some of those 8-pounders Frank's talking about.
Yeah, maybe some 10s.
Yeah,
they live there.
Just fine by me.
Yeah. Well, so they just call Rick in the tackle store or you in the office, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to bring up a comparison about some of the other lodges compared to Papa Senior's old lodge, their Chapman's Lodge. The guys off the Liberty said, this is the way you compare it to the other lodges is that's open party fishing. This is charter boat fishing.
Yeah, it's true.
In other words, the limited group and everybody knows each other. Okay?
That's what's so fun is when you sit down at dinner, it's 14
guys.
buds. It's just your group. It's just our group has the entire lodge. Instead of 40 or 50 people, it's just our group.
And I might add, too, the price, too. I mean, like several $100 less.
Mm-hmm. And if you're in any way intimidated by the tackle or the cost, Brandon from the tackle store and myself are both going, man. Don't let that be the thing. Cruise in and we'll help you. We've done that for several people. There's a lot of guys that go on this.
Brandon, the world's greatest fisherman?
Single greatest there is.
Yeah.
The Iron Bomber.
Yeah.
You can come in and we've done the same thing. We'll just sit down and we'll lace out like this is what we need, this is what we don't. A starter pack doesn't need to be thousands of dollars in fishing tackle. Like if there's any type of intimidation when it comes to the gear, even though we're a saltwater shop, we have no problem outfitting you for a couple of green bass.
It sounds like fun. Well, it sounds like you can't wait to get back, Frank, and it sounds like you're leaving, when you go bass fishing, you're leaving good bluefin fishing and yellowtail in the horizon here too. So
the bluefin fishing, by the way, Alliar was on big schools of fish all night. They were what we call bricked up and didn't bite. So nobody got a bite until 4:30 this morning.
Oh, wow.
So that fish is going to change.
So you got to
like
sleep
Alliar said, the fish acted like it was the full moon.
Huh,
so
interesting.
It was kind of
Wow, that's good stuff, man. And there's a lot of trips here in the spring that you can jump on and go out there on.
There are plenty of openings on long-range boats. The Shogun's got plenty of openings in April. The Alliar has a couple of trips that has openings in April. So there's room on lots of boats.
Royal Star has lots of openings, April, May. Yeah, so.
I'm guaranteeing you, well, I'm not going to guarantee it because I always say things that sometimes don't come true, but I am willing to bet April's going to be a very, very good month on the bluefin, okay?
Gotta love it. Hey, Captain Frank Lopresti, sure appreciate your input here. And if I'm not mistaken, you and Jonathan are going to be in the studio here next weekend.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to that for sure. And thanks for the call this morning.
You bet. Good morning. Goodbye.
All right.
Thanks, Frank.
Good morning to you. Hey, let's jump into the phones. They're packed. They want to talk to Tim.
You got it. How about we start this one off this morning with John, who's calling us from Dallas, Texas this morning. Hey, John, welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Morning, guys. My question is, I got a 3-day in May with Renee. If I took 3 rods for bait fishing, what rods and reels would those be?
On your 3-day in May, boy, I might have to defer to Ricky. I mean, I would tell you, for sure you want a 40, you want a mid-ranger like a 60-pound, and then you want your big heavy outfit for nighttime, something with 130-pound at least. But I'll defer to the tackle expert.
Couldn't agree with Tim more. Like a 40-pound outfit's got to be your bread and butter. And at this point, Tim, when does a guy make what pound gear do you make the switch to making sure you have a 2-speed in your hand? Because I feel like that's something that is all talked about the last 10 years how things change. That's one thing that is sure changed a bunch too. The advent of small 2-speeds, Talica, that kind of stuff. Like when I'm in total agreement on the gear. A 40-pound fly line outfit, a 60-pound sinker rig, and a heavy rig for knife jig fishing. I think you nailed it. When do all of those need to be a 2-speed? Is the 40-pound the switch? Is it down to 30-pound? Do you still fly line 25 on a regular star drag Trinidad? Like what's the switch?
I think anything lighter than the 40-pound. If I was in that 25-30-pound range, I wouldn't hesitate to use a not a I think the Trinidad, right?
Star drag.
Yeah,
Trinidad,
star drag Trinidad. That's fine. But you get into 40-pound and up, anything that you anticipate the possibility of hooking a bigger fish on. I mean, Talica, or something comparable. That 2-speed is just such an advantage, and you're not sacrificing anything with it anymore. You know what I mean? Those things are so nice and smooth and free spool and everything else. It's like, why wouldn't you have a 2-speed in case you hook that one? You run your 40-pound, you hook the 120-pound bluefin.
Yeah,
like your odds of landing that fish with a 2-speed increase exponentially as opposed to a single speed.
Like double.
more than that. I mean,
that's cool.
It's probably 10 times greater. Yeah. You know, a 100-pound bluefin on 40-pound. I mean, aside from the possibility of it chewing you off, I mean, that's not a you know, the odds aren't stacked too high against you. I mean, we see a lot of 100-pound fish caught on 40-pound and bigger, but you know, 2-speed is certainly the key.
And think about what the odds were, 20 years ago if you hooked that fish on a Penn 500. Like, it just I mean, imagine going back to that. It's just not the same.
I mean, especially the Penn 500. That's actually comical.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
Squitter.
But that was the 40-pound rig. That wasn't an uncommon thing to see.
Yeah.
4.0, whatever your 40-pound rig was. I mean, it just wasn't that long ago that you didn't have a Talica that free spooled better than the Star Drag did then. You could drop it into low gear. I mean, what a treat of a piece of tackle to get to use.
Oh yeah.
You made me think of it as like, in 1984, 85, albacore fishing, and the one guy would hook the bluefin or the big eye, the 100-pounder on his 25 or 30 pound on the Penn 500. That was it. You were done.
Yeah.
You were drifting for 3 hours. One guy walked around the boat and eventually lost it. Of course,
it's pretty crazy
compared to now, where it's like you got a Talica. Hey man, grind that thing.
Here we go. Another 20 minutes. We should be putting a gaff into this thing.
Yeah, exactly. For sure.
Somebody hook another one.
John, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. Been packed lines. If you want to get through that, just open up a line at 213-432-1090. Christian's taking the calls today. Nice to have Christian back for a short stint here.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Hey, right now, let's talk Gamakatsu hooks. We have Ted the man from Gamakatsu. Good morning, Ted.
Hey, Ted.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you today?
Hey, doing great. Now, this is an incredible debut. You kind of teased it a little bit at the PCS show a couple weeks ago, or is it? Yeah, about a couple weeks ago now. Things fly through. But this is the big introduction of the new Nano Alpha Gamakatsu coating on the hooks, right?
That's correct, Pete. And thanks for having me on this morning. And we're real excited about this technology. And I just want to start off by saying this isn't something that's just brand new that we've developed. This coating has been used in Japan for several years. Matter of fact, most of the hooks that are being sold in Japan to consumers they're already embraced this technology and have been using it for a long time. So it's not something like we just invented yesterday. This is just a debut of this finish on the hooks here in the U.S. So
now this is going to be offered as an option at no extra charge. So on certain hooks right now, and then more hooks in the Gamakatsu line, the Nano Alpha coating, it will be offered like you can still get, the different types of coatings, right?
That's correct. They'll still be available. So it's not like anything's going away. This is going to be in addition to. So first of all, let's kind of get into what Nano Alpha actually does for you. So what the technology is it's a coating we apply to the hook that gives it 2 times better penetration. It's slicker. So it's a slick finish that we apply to the hook. So it really gives it much better penetration quality. The other big part of this is the corrosion resistance. This is where it's really, truly amazing. The corrosion resistance on these hooks is about 4 times better than our traditional finishes. So if you compare that side by side to our NS Black hooks, which are very typical in the marketplace, you will see at least 4 times better corrosion resistance. So it's pretty incredible when you see it.
And you have a description here, and you can actually get it on the website if you want, of a bronze hook, an NSB hook, and then a Nano Alpha in saltwater for like 2 months. And it's pretty dramatic.
It really is. The website, just so you know, we just loaded all the Nano Alpha stuff up on the website and it went live yesterday. As a matter of fact, so
wow.
This is literally just happening right now. And if you do go to the website, up at the top, there's a tab called Nano Alpha. And if you click on that, there's some images there that'll show you. Obviously, we can't show that on the air here, but it'll show you exactly what we're talking about here. So we took an experiment. We took salt water from about 100 miles offshore. And then we have these small little plastic cubes, and we hung the hooks in them. And we had a bronze, like you said, a Nano Alpha, and an NS Black hook. And we put those in around Halloween. Then we took pictures, and we took pictures again later on. at around the end of January, so about a 2-month time frame. And the amount of rust that's on the barbs and the tip, and there's none on the Nano Alpha. It's truly incredible. And so it's important for people to know just how much better this technology is. And you hit on it exactly, Pete. You're getting all these extra features and benefits without any additional cost. We're going to be offering these hooks in the same price as our standard hooks are.
Well, I'll tell you the thing that fired me up was that one of the hooks that it's available in is that Octopus 4X hook. And I use that hook specifically for two things, one of which, if indeed it's got twice the, what do you call it, the penetration, like it goes in easier. Like, that is my favorite hook for replacing a standard hook on a Wahoo bomb. And, Tim knows it better than anybody. Like, Wahoo's a tough nut to crack that's got a really, hard, bony mouth. It's a difficult fish to get a hook into. And if that thing really does, like if they say it penetrates twice as easy, if that hook goes into them that much better, it's huge. And that's my favorite hook for swapping out onto a bomb with. Like, I was really pumped on that.
And if it's not going to corrode as fast, it'll last that much longer and stay that much stronger on the hook.
And there again is one of the things. Like, I really like switching my Wahoo bombs out with like a Gamakatsu style hook, a badass, super sharp, a little bit shorter, a little bit smaller hook. But they're bait hooks. They don't last long. You can't rig something up and have it for the whole season in the box. And now this will. I'm pumped.
And you can put it back in your box, and it's not going to corrode.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
A lot of stuff too.
Next trip, it's still going to be good to go.
Right. So when can we start seeing this Nano Alpha coating on the Gamakatsu hooks?
So they're available now, and again, it's in limited hook styles. So I just want to be careful that everybody understands this isn't something that we've been able to do all across the entire selection of our hooks. There's been a few that we can do it with. So some of the octopus hooks, you're seeing it on the worm hooks for the bass side. You guys were talking earlier about El Salto, and I know, Rick, you're going down on this trip, and I sent, we've got some hooks, some Nano Alpha hooks going down for you guys. And so these are going to be launched at the Bassmaster Classic next week. This was kind of the big unveil. So this next week to 2 weeks is when we're kind of going nationwide with this whole unveiling of this. So you've got about 6 different worm hooks in our most popular styles, and then about 8 or 9 of the all-purpose and saltwater hooks that they're going to be available in. And again, I want to be careful to make sure everybody understands there is options. You can choose either or. You don't have to use Nano Alpha if you're comfortable with using the hook that you always have. That's still going to be available to you.
Yeah, and there's no additional cost no matter which coating or type of hook that you choose.
That's correct. And we're going to wait and see how the market reacts to it, quite frankly, to be very candid with listeners and everybody, to see how people respond to it. Because, again, it's been very widely embraced in Japan. And obviously it's most of the fishing done in Japan is saltwater fishing. They're an island nation surrounded by saltwater. So the vast majority of this is being done in saltwater. So, again, it's been really embraced over there and proven technology. It was time for us to launch it here.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, Gamakatsu.com, you can find more information on the new Nano Alpha coating from Gamakatsu. And tell us about this prize package that you put together for one lucky caller or texter.
So we've got some new a hat. We basically have an assortment of some of the new Nano Alpha hooks that we're going to send out in one of our G boxes to one lucky listener. So they'll be maybe some of the first folks to be able to get to use these hooks actually out in the field.
Wow, that's great. So that'll be in addition to that trip on the Liberty. You get to be one of the first in the area to have Gamakatsu Nano Alpha and one of those great G boxes too.
Absolutely.
Great. Ted, Gamakatsu Hooks, sure appreciate all your help and pushing for new technology for everybody in the fishing game here. And we'll talk to you soon. Good luck at the Bassmaster Classic.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks
for joining us, Ted. Appreciate that very much.
All right. I had a great text come through. This is, hello, my name is Doug from Paris. And my question is for Captain Tim. With the forecast prediction of El Nino in the next few months and then the potential of a developing La Nina later in the summer, do you have any thoughts on how this would or would not affect our fishing? What has happened in the past years? I really value an opinion of somebody who's been at it for as long as Captain Tim.
Well, going
back to that age thing.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah. Going into the the El Nino La Nina thing. I think we got to go back to the basics here, guys. Like, what is normal? You know what I mean? Like, it's always warm. It's always cold. It's like this is
there is no normal.
There isn't. Like, this is just what I would consider a normal condition that we see on and off.
Because it changes all the time.
Yeah. So how do I think it's going to affect it? I mentioned earlier. I do feel like we're going to have a really strong year on that yellowfin again, especially if the water temperatures are elevated and where we've seen it coming up the line. It suggests that there's going to be a really good mix of that yellowfin in here. What I've seen with this bluefin in the past also is that, well, number one, there's just so much of it around that it's inevitable they're going to be here as long as the groceries are here. They'll be here too. It to me suggests there's going to be a good mix. I just have that sense that we're going to have one of those years that has a lot of availability of multiple species. We're going to have the yellowfin, the bluefin, the dorado, the yellowtail, the whole 9 yards as we push later into the summer.
Yeah.
As far as, and then they say it's going to be a La Nina after that. I'm just going to wait and see.
Take our cards when they're done.
Yeah, I don't think that we're going to see a broad deviation based on whether it's a La Nina moves in, or I think it's going to be
food's here,
strong.
The fish are here.
That's
the only thing.
That's
really,
all we
care about.
Well, like everything that I've seen, all the conditions and the quantity of fish suggests it's going to be a strong year all the way through.
With the good bluefin fishing that we had last year, like we saw times when it was great daytime fishing, and times when it was great nighttime fishing, and times when they didn't want to bite neither, and times where they bit in both. Is it condition related when those things will go into a daytime mode versus a nighttime mode? Is it just, is bluefin being bluefin and you can never put your finger on them and they don't ever give you, something to hang your hat on? Like, what is it about them where sometimes they bite great in the dark and sometimes they bite great in the day and not the other?
And if I knew that,
right?
Yeah. Let's get a bluefin in here in the guest chair and ask him, because I tell you what, man. There's certainly times when it switches into daytime mode and we recognize it, and we go with it. But can I tell you whether they're going to be biting still the daytime the next day?
Sure.
I can't. I can't based on conditions. It is a damnedest thing. That is the most maddening fish to pursue in that respect, because of just the most unbelievable quantities you could ever imagine, and
they just not bite,
and you can't catch one, and sometimes you can't catch one day or night. You see school after school, and
then the next day the light switch turns on and they're just biting nails.
Yeah, or why does there's 9 guys out there banging away at it, and maybe they get one here, one there, none. Giant school, no bite. Giant school, no bite. And one guy comes on and he hits a school and they want to bite
every bite,
and just that
one school,
and it was like. Was it something different that they were doing? Was it the boat? Probably not. You just hit it just at the right time.
Yeah, when their mood was on.
One of them saw that jig and was like, "Oh, I'm on," and the other one's all piled in.
Oh, he's doing that too. Okay, let's
exactly. That's my sense of it a lot.
Yeah.
That said, there's certainly times when. Going back to the gear, going back to the methods, where something is working a whole hell of a lot better than some other thing, and that's producing the success. But as far as forecasting, whether it's going to be night, whether it's going to be day, man,
good luck.
I wish I knew.
Yeah. Gary White, Gary in Lawndale says, "Good morning, everyone. Captain Ekstrom, the Royal Star, is unsurpassed in the long-range fleet in all categories. I'm amazed how well executed the entire operation is. How is it that the meals are healthy and fresh on the first and last day of a trip?"
Well,
how do you keep everything fresh on the boat?
That's a longer trip. We've got great refrigeration, we've got great storage and ample storage. So, we haven't even when we made Clipperton trips, 20 days, 21 days, we still had plenty of fresh produce available on the back end of the trip. The guys selectively ordered too. If you're talking about bananas and papaya, they're not going to last more than 3, 4, 5 days. But oranges and apples, they last a good long time. You get 3 weeks out of them.
Yeah.
But it's another though. It's like it's one of the things that fascinates me about the things you guys do. I get to go on the boat as a passenger and just don't see anything behind the scenes. And there is so much going on a long range trip. Just think about
how after 10 days do they produce a fresh salad, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, and you guys know how to wrap that iceberg lettuce in whatever you wrap it in, and it just stays longer.
Or how about your air conditioner works and your toilet flushes and all these all
the little things,
all the little things on a moving boat that operates damn near 365 days a year, and that you just I'll tell you what the most impressive thing to me is Gremlins happen always. They do. Is the boats and crews are so good about fixing them and dealing with them and not making it a big deal, and you just don't see it. I'm sure the air conditioner did go bad or made a rattle or had a belt thrown, but you know what? The boys dealt with it before the boys dealt with it when you were asleep and never knew the difference. It's just one of the cool things about the fleet for sure. Right. Hey, when we come back, we got a whole lot of Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your phone calls, more great information. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Gas prices are going up, up, up. So now more than ever, you need Summit Gasoline at the San Diego Sports Arena. Pull up to the newly expanded Summit Gasoline and get low gas and diesel prices for your car, truck, and boat. They can now accommodate 24 cars and trucks to fuel at the same time, plus 12 diesel boats, plus 100 pounds of free ice with a minimum 35-gallon fill-up. Easy in and out, too. Step into the Summit Bistro and enjoy what Martha and her crew have for you on things you can use. Fresh-made burritos, sandwiches, salads, along with beer, beverages, and, of course, always free ice. So many Let's Talk Hookup listeners have taken advantage of Summit Gasoline's low prices, great service, and free ice. They have become the largest seller of fresh gourmet ice in Southern California. Summit also sells frozen bait and fishing licenses 24 hours a day. Summit Gasoline. Low prices, friendly staff, free ice, and easy in and out with your boat and trailer at the San Diego Sports Arena.
Hey, it's time to talk about great gear from Shimano. You saw it at the PCS show. Shimano just dominates. I mean, it's just, I'm sorry.
It's a fact.
To the other guys, right? It just, when you're talking about big fish, it's just, there's nothing like Italica.
Yeah, there's nothing like it. And, Tim was mentioning it, how do you improve upon Italica? That was the perfect reel, the perfect fit, the perfect everything. And then this year they rolled out with the first two new versions of the Italica A and the 12 and 16, and they did it.
Yeah.
How do you improve on perfection? Well, just take a look at that. That's it.
They're pretty cool.
Increased free spool, great drag pressure, a little bit smaller, a little bit rounder, fit in your hand a little better. They're just a perfect reel.
Yeah, it's changed long range fishing, wouldn't you say?
It's transformed it, no question about it. And you guys know, I've said it a million times. I'm a Shimano guy for the reason that they are unbelievably durable. They are so specifically targeted for our style of fishing. Right. They are superior in every respect to every single other reel that I've ever seen. And that's a guy that's out on the boat using them.
Right.
I'm telling you,
exactly.
I absolutely love that product and stand by it. And
that's what you use on Royal Star.
We use everything, but I'll tell you what: if I see 4 or 5 reels sitting there, stacked up, which one I'm going to grab.
Grab the towel. Yeah. Hey, check it out at your local Shimano dealer.
Everyone has their go-to fishing spot. My spot is Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. Rock Cod Rick here to say if you're looking for the ultimate Alaska experience and the best value in Alaska, it's Kingfisher Charters. Owner Seth Bone and his crew consistently deliver deluxe accommodations, the finest food, world-class fish processing, and top-of-the-line fishing experience. We've literally sent hundreds of our listeners to Kingfisher, and they all can't wait to go back. Most Alaska resorts make big promises, and they don't deliver, or they'll nickel and dime you to drive up the cost. But not Kingfisher. Everything is included. Your license, fish processing, super deluxe accommodations, amazing food, airport transfers, your gear. Literally, all you need to bring is your layer clothing, and Kingfisher covers the rest. They also have the finest boats and charter captains in Sitka, all for the ultimate value. Take it from me. Book your trip to Kingfisher Charters and you'll thank me. Kingfisher Charters, 800-727-6136 or check kingfishercharters.com.
Hi, this is Dwayne Diego from Pinnacle Sport Fishing, and I love my Costa Del Mar sunglasses. You cannot beat the 580G lenses and the killer frames that they come with. The 580G lenses are by far the most clear and durable scratch-resistant lenses I've ever used. And I'm far from easy on my equipment. We use it day in and day out, and having that scratch resistance that they have is a game changer for us. I rely on my Costa Del Mars every day. They take care of my eyes and help see what's out there. For more information, you can check out costasunglasses.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning. Phones are absolutely packed. Tons of great texts coming through. Lots of cool information coming your way.
Yeah, for sure. Let's jump back on the phones. They're packed. They want to talk to Tim.
How about we talk to Daniel, who's calling us from Rancho Cucamonga this morning. Daniel, good morning. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, Rick, it was nice. It was nice meeting you at the show.
You too, Daniel. Had a lot of fun. That was awesome.
Yeah, my question is for Rick. I'm sorry, for Tim. In his opinion, what does he think about who pulls harder, a yellowfin or a bluefin?
The age-old question.
Right? Here we go. Yep. I would say I'll give it 9 times out of 10 a yellowfin is going to pull harder than a bluefin. There's just no comparison. We just saw it again on the last trip I was on down there at Hurricane Bank. 180-pound yellowfin versus 180-pound bluefin, especially daytime. Yeah. I mean, man. Those yellowfin are they're just warriors. Yeah, man. They're absolute warriors.
Does water temperature make a difference?
100%.
Yeah,
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, yellowfin in cooler water does not pull nearly as hard. They just don't. When you catch one up here and it's early season, 68 degrees, 67 degrees. I've seen and same thing when we were fishing out of Guadalupe. A lot of that fish in that cooler water, it's like you just grind it in.
Still pull pretty hard.
Yeah, they pull hard, but they don't.
Not like
put
one
in 76-degree water or 78-degree water, that thing is a demon.
Yeah. Why is that? You think just because of their system?
Call it metabolism. Yeah. Call it whatever it is. I will look at Clipperton. That place. Yeah. When water temperature is 84, 86 degrees, and those things down there, they redefined pulling hard. I'm not kidding you. Like the number of times we would see, those bigger fish, they have a really distinct signature. You can tell they just have weight behind them. A lot of times, put it in gear, first run, it's like, we'd all look at each other. Oh, that's
the one.
That's the one. We've been waiting for. And you'd be fishing at Clipperton, and oh yeah, let's go, boys. That's the one. And 20 minutes later, 30 minutes later, up comes a 70-pounder.
It's like, what? How can you take line up 50 wide like that?
Like when we were down in Panama on the Royal Star. It was like same thing. It was oh my God.
Yeah, you can't believe that that's the same fish. You're like, no, the big one fell off. And ate it,
Yeah, for sure.
I'm in total agreement. No question about it, no anything. The one thing I'll give a bluefin is when they get crafty or difficult is when you can see them. And when those things are at color, it's not a big, flat, round circle that 3 more turns, we're going to put a gaff into those things. Man, they can be so just nail-biting, change direction, big oval, shake their head like a son of a gun.
That head shake is just so distinctive.
When you can see them, they're just a pain in
They know how to get rid of that hook.
The signature bluefin battle, and since the beginning of time, the signature bluefin battle is it really begins when you get them to color.
Deep color, God, here we go.
God, they are just a nightmare. I mean, under the boat, in the wheels, just head.
It's like they know.
Switch back in, head shaking. I mean, I've seen hundreds of times where you get 100, 150 pounder, 200 pounder, whatever it is, and you just grind the thing right in. It's like, holy smokes, he's already at color, 2-3 minutes, and then
here we go.
15 minutes later with us, every epithet in the world, expletive, you dirty bro, just 3 feet from gaff, and then another like rips you again.
Yeah, the opposite direction than it did the time before.
Exactly.
That's one of the big differences of bluefin.
Oh, it is. Yeah. That's the number one. I mean, I've seen more bluefin lost 5 feet from gaff, I think, than any other fish, just from that head shaking, jerking back and forth. Yeah, the line raking across their teeth.
You just can't help. You see it. Not even your fish. You're fly lining, cheering on your buddy who's pulling on. You look over the rod, just jerking, and it gives me the chills every time.
I mean, it's like the best kind of adrenaline evoking chaos in the world. But you put like 3 or 4 of those 6 of those going at the same time, nighttime. You got 6 at color, and they're all doing that. Oh, my God.
Watch out.
Oh, my God.
That's awesome. Great call, Daniel. Appreciate it very much. When we come back, we got a whole nother hour. Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More phone calls. We're also going to check in with the Kids Report. We'll find out what's biting up and down the beach and a whole lot more. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup with Captain Tim Ekstrom of the Royal Star on the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio and the Let's Talk Hookup app.
Many years ago, Baja pioneer Bob Van Wormer found the area he called the Great Fish Trap in the East Cape of southern Baja and built what is now regarded as the premier East Cape resorts of Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Today, following in their father's footsteps, Bob's sons, Bobby, Chucky, and Eddie, have taken Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol to new levels with the largest sport fishing fleet in Mexico, a luxurious spa, and top-of-the-line resort amenities. Van Wormer Resorts have become a destination for travelers worldwide. But for us, Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol are just a short 2-hour flight away. No other tropical fishing destination offers the experience and value that you'll find at Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Now you can plan your Baja fishing vacation quick and easy by visiting VanWormerResorts.com. And when you're ready to book, it's quick and easy. Or simply call 877-777-TUNA for more information. Van Wormer Resorts, the East Cape's finest. Sport fishing, not just for dad anymore, thanks to the Dana Wharf's Kids Club. Dana Wharf Sport Fishing invites all anglers 12 and under to join the Kids Club today. Membership includes over $100 of really cool stuff, like 2 free fishing trips, whale watch trip, as well as a free Dana Wharf Kids Club hat or t-shirt. Log on to the website, danawharf.com, or visit them in Dana Point Harbor, the bass capital of the West and only minutes from the 5 freeway in Orange County.
As the inventor and world leader in fluorocarbon, Seagar has you covered with 4-liter choices to help you catch more fish. Gold Label is Seagar's thinnest and strongest leader. Fluoro Premier has a thin diameter with high break strength and softness. Blue Label is tough as nails with incredible abrasion resistance and impact strength. And Pink Label is the choice for tough light conditions. From 2 pounds to 400 pounds, pick up a spool of Seagar at your favorite tackle dealer or visit Seagar.com.
This is Captain Tim Ekstrom from the long-range vessel Royal Star. With my partners Randy Toussaint and Brian Sims, we have set the bar for the long-range fishing experience. Spring 8-day, summer 5-day, or a fly-down, fly-back 11-day winter trip, we deliver the highest quality long-range voyage you will find. From our premium RSW fish storage to our top-of-the-line chefs and crew, Royal Star distinguishes itself from all others. Want to grab a spot on the Royal Star? Check us out at RoyalStarSportFishing.com or call Tracy at 619-224-4764.
In San Diego, the future belongs to everyone. So Ford engineered the truck of the future for everyone. The Ford F-150. Available with a Pro Power onboard generator. What a great addition for anglers. There's also a variety of cab configurations for whatever you need to haul. The truck of the future isn't created for just a few. It's created for us who love the ocean and the outdoor life. Ford F-150. Test drive one at your local San Diego County Ford dealer today. They'll be glad to hook you up.